Hi, my name is Pat, and this is my channel, Book Chat with Pat, and I'm glad that you're here. Today is my second anniversary on BookTube, and I wanted to make a video simply to express my gratitude to all in the BookTube community for welcoming me into this space and for helping to make this space such an important part of my life. I had created the BookTube Community Joy and Gratitude tag when I reached a particular subscriber milestone. And that tag really expressed my sense of gratitude to this weird and wonderful world that we have created here. But it feels a little bit too soon to do that, that particular tag again. But it does express the sense of gratitude that I feel for my fellow BookTube creators who have invited me into this community, and to all who have watched my videos, commented on my videos, subscribed to my channel. I just want people to know how absolutely grateful I feel for your presence in my life. I discovered BookTube when I had first retired from my long teaching career as a high school English teacher. I was more than a little bit lost at that time, and really at loose ends. And I discovered Angelia from the channel Read and Reread, and at that time I didn't know that BookTube was this vast community of hundreds of thousands of channels. And I just faithfully began watching Angelia, also a retired educator, and just felt this deep sense of connection to her. And then little by little, I discovered a few other channels, still not understanding how many channels there were out there. Very early on, I became a loyal follower of Michael K. Vaughan's channel, of Steve Donahue's channel, Olly at CriminOlly, and Greg at Supposedly Fun. So these were the initial channels that I watched every day, every week, and started to get the idea that maybe this was something that I could do too. I remember that I was attending a Monday Night Live show that was, that is produced by Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads and by Alan at Big Hard Books and Classics. And I think Brian, the Bookish Texan, was the guest. And I remember talking in the chat about the fact that I was thinking about starting a channel. And I remember how absolutely encouraging Greg was at that time, and he gave me some really helpful, constructive advice about just getting started, just doing it. And then I did, and the channel was just a couple days old when MJ at Reading This Life featured me in her delightful series on Support Small BookTube. And I met a bunch of people through that, through her featuring me in that series. That's when I first met Gavin at Genre Books. He was also featured in that same episode. And then almost as soon as I got started, I got completely freaked out by some really ugly comments that some trolls left on, I think, my second video, and I just shut the channel down. I thought, this is not what I bargained for. This is not what I got into this, to to have to read or listen to. And it was MJ who came to my rescue. And I know that MJ probably gets tired of hearing me talk about this, but I can't thank MJ enough for her friendship and for her wise guidance in those earliest days. MJ reached out to me privately. I mean, the channel was gone. She reached out to me through Voxer. She asked me what happened. She was very upset for me that this had happened, and she immediately launched into showing me how to go about setting some controls on my channel where I could have some control over people who want to put ugliness on somebody else's channel. She showed me how to take care of that. And she was the one who said to me that I needed to remember that this channel was like an extension of my home, and you don't invite someone into your home to have them abuse you. MJ does more to celebrate small booktube and new booktubers than anyone I have ever met. We have a real treasure in her, and I hope that everyone continues to show their gratitude to MJ and to celebrate her in whatever ways we are able to do. I hope she never forgets how grateful I am for her presence here and in my life. There are a bunch of series of questions that people sometimes do to observe anniversaries. And I did one set of questions last year for my first anniversary. I found a slightly different set of questions for this second anniversary. And I'm going to do some of those questions, things that maybe I haven't answered or haven't talked about in a long time. I don't know who created the first set of questions that I did, and I don't know who created this set of questions either. But I think they are good questions just for kind of a stepping back and reflecting a little bit on where the channel is, where it has come from, and where it is going in the future. So bear with me while I answer some of these questions about my experience thus far on BookTube and where I hope the channel will be going in the future. So the first question is simply, what anniversary are you celebrating? Well, this is my second anniversary. What genre or genres does your channel generally focus on? I think this is one of the things that I am most proud of. People often say in my comments that they find me to be a very eclectic reader, and I think that's true, and that's something that I take great pride in. I certainly talk a great deal about contemporary fiction, as I read widely in contemporary fiction. I think I talk a lot about classics as well, 19th and 20th century classics. Certainly since the channel was born, I've been talking about science fiction, which is a new to me genre. I've only been reading science fiction now for about 3 years, so I still consider myself quite the novice in the genre of science fiction. But I have come to love classic science fiction, and I talk about that a lot on the channel, and I am learning about contemporary science fiction, and I'm very interested in that as well. Poetry is something that I feature on the channel every week, and I will continue to do so. I do a poetry video at least once a week. And while I don't think there's a huge audience for poetry. There certainly is a loyal and dedicated audience, and I will continue to talk about poetry on the channel for that very loyal and engaged audience. I have even dabbled in horror, and I've talked about that on the channel. I love mysteries, and they're always, kind of dabbled throughout or sprinkled throughout what I talk about in any given week. And I love literary biography. I don't think I read enough nonfiction, but the nonfiction that I do read is often in the area of memoir and literary biography. The next question is, what are you the most proud of on your channel in the past year? Well, besides being an eclectic reader, there's something here for everybody, or I like to think that. I think the thing that I am most proud of, and this is the thing that I work the hardest at, that is building community. That's a word. Community gets thrown around a lot. We talk about the BookTube community, and I don't know what, I'm not sure that means the same thing to everybody. But I think that building community is something that I do work hard to do. I still pride myself on responding to comments, hopefully thoughtfully. Sometimes I'm not so good at responding when a conversation goes back and forth several times because I don't always see that. I don't get notifications about that, but I do try to respond to people in the comments, and I certainly try to leave comments on the many videos that I watch on any given day. I hope that my fellow booktubers feel my support of them, because it is genuine, it is from the heart, and that's one of the things that I am proud of. I celebrate others. I share other people's videos. I hype their videos. And something that I'm often kind of playfully made fun of for, I tag people. I tag, it's not uncommon for me to tag 20 or 25 people in a tag. But that's not being a hog with the tag. That's trying to make other people feel invited. That's trying to make other people feel welcome, know that they're invited to the party too. And that's why I do what I do. I will never forget the first people who shouted me out in those early days. Sonya was one of the first. Angelia was the first. MJ was one of the first. Nicole at Noteworthy Fiction was the first person ever to tag me. I don't forget things like that, and that's why I shout out others, and that's why I tag as many people as I do. I'm about celebrating others. Okay. Do you receive ARCs to review? I do not. I have reviewed a couple of books that have been sent to me by writers before their publication date. I have done that, and I have enjoyed that. But I have not officially signed up to receive ARCs. MJ has been talking about that, and I've talked about that with her, and she is encouraging me to do that. I think what has held me back is my fear of disappointing people, my fear of taking on something else to do that I might not be able to keep up with. But it certainly does appeal to me in theory anyway. Okay, next. What types of videos do you most like to do on your channel? Well, I think I have staples. I have things that I do every week and that people have come to expect. Not everybody watches everything that I do, but I think I am known for my weekly wrap up. I think I regularly do my monthly plans. I regularly do a poetry Thursday. I regularly do a tag video, sometimes usually on Tuesday, but not always. And I do book reviews, and I also try to feature, it's along with doing book reviews, feature books. I have a series going that's got about 20 episodes in it now on books that I loved to teach. There are more that I love to teach that I could still do, but I did 20 episodes. I mean, I did a lot of the big books that I loved to teach, but I would like to do a few more of those episodes. So I think that's what I most like to do and what I am most known for. Okay. What types of videos do you like to watch on other people's channels? That's a really good question. I don't have types of videos that I like to watch on other people's channels. I like to watch other people. So if you are someone that I follow, it almost doesn't matter what you're talking about because I just watch you. You know, you could be doing a book haul. You could be doing a response video. You could be doing a tag. You could be doing a wrap up. You know, if you are someone that I follow and I get a notification that you have a new video up, I will try to watch it and I will try to leave a comment as well. So it doesn't really matter what you're talking about. I tend to support the person and not the particular kind of video that they are making. Okay. Was there anything that you tried on your channel last year that didn't work? Not really. I mean, YouTube tells me that my poetry videos are not working, but I don't agree with that. You know, I don't care that they have many fewer views than say a weekly wrap up or a book review. You know, YouTube tells me that they're not successful, but I know they're successful with the people who watch them. I know that they are important to a small group of people, and that's good enough. That's what I do it for. And maybe every now and then somebody who doesn't think they like poetry will drop in and watch something and realize that, oh, you know, maybe I will give some poetry a try. So, you know, that's something that I'm going to keep doing, even though YouTube tells me they're not working. You know, you get those awful gray down arrows. If you're a viewer and not a creator, you might not know that, but you get like an analysis of every video that you do. And if it's not getting lots and lots of views as soon as it posts, you get these like thumbs down, sort of gray down arrows that are telling you that this is not successful. But you know, it's a little demoralizing, but you know, that's not really what you have to kind of keep that all in perspective. I have made some decisions about what I might not want to do going forward. I don't do a lot of response videos where I'm responding to other people's videos. I mean, I did one, I remember Joe Spivey did, you know, the 5 poets that you must read. So I did my version of that. So that was sort of a response to Joe, but that was just like, I have to get my 2 cents in here, so I'll do my 5 poets that you must read. And, you know, the limited number of people that watch our poetry videos watched that. But that's not what I mean by response videos. I did a video this year or last year, at the end of last year, that I was tagged on by another BookTube friend, and it was, responding to, I think, the Ryan Holiday rules for reading, and it did get a lot of views. It got a couple thousand views, but I was not happy with that video. I was just answering the prompts, but it didn't feel like it was coming from me, and I spent an inordinate amount of time responding to people's comments where I think that set of rules for reading, which was probably meant tongue-in-cheek, but it hit so many raw nerves in people, and some people were angry about it. A lot of people were defensive, and I just thought, this is not me. This is not what I want to be doing. I don't want to be defending this guy's rules, and it felt uncomfortable, and I think that is something that I would not do again. That didn't feel like it was coming from my heart, and I think it wasn't meant to be hurtful to people, but I think it hit so many raw nerves in people, this idea of rules about reading, that I just think that's not the kind of conversation I want to spend my time engaging in. So can I say that's something that didn't work? No. I mean, YouTube would say it worked really well. For me, it didn't work. It didn't feel right for me. Okay. Is there anything you've done on your channel that you won't continue? Well, that would be that. I'm kind of combining those two. Okay. Is there anything that you plan to do more of this year? Well, Angelia and Debs, Angelia at Read and Reread, and Debs at Rainer Reads Stuff, and I have started a little show that we're doing once a month, Women of Words, and it's a live stream on the first Tuesday of the month, and that's something we're all excited about. We have done 2 episodes so far, and the third one will be the first Tuesday of March. We're going to try to do that one on my channel, and wish me a lot of luck with that, because as you know, I'm a little bit challenged when it comes to the technology of all of this, and I'm very, very nervous about being able to do the live stream. But that's something new that we're all really excited about, and that we hope to be doing all year long. So that's something new. So I'm kind of like combining a couple of these questions because I feel like they sort of ask the same thing over and over again. But things that you're planning to do more of, I'm going to keep the staples. I'm going to keep doing my weekly wrap-ups, my monthly plans, my book reviews, my tags, my poetry Thursday. I think those things are working for me, and hopefully hopefully I'll be able to figure out how to do a live stream, and I won't wreck this thing that we have started. Okay, next, excuse me. Challenges that you face on your channel. Well, there's the obvious. There is technology. I have not improved with regard to my tech skill, and I'm trying, but I really need somebody to sit down with me, sit down next to me. I can't watch a YouTube video about the things that I need to learn how to do. I need somebody to sit with me and teach me some things. And so, you know, things will get better when I can figure out how to do that. What else? Challenges. I have a thin skin. That's not going to change. You know, it hasn't changed at this point in my life, and I'm closer to 70 than I am to 60, and you know, that hasn't gotten better. When people say unkind things in my comments, and it still happens, not to the degree that it did in the beginning, but it still happens. And it hurts. You know, I'm not good at just saying, you know, you're out of here. You know, I think on things, I dwell on things. I try to engage the person who's left me an unkind comment, and that's, you know, that's nowhere. That's not something that I should even be doing. But, you know, I treat other people with kindness and respect, and that's how I write in their comments, and that's what I expect back. I don't expect somebody to insult me in the comments. So, you know, that I haven't gotten better at. I know what to do when it happens, but it still hurts when it happens. You know, part of me thinks that, you know, while this has given me this sort of new lease on life doing this channel, and I've made so many wonderful friends, real friends in my life. It's not just a virtual thing. Part of me thinks that I'm too old for this medium, you know, that I'm not really cut out for this. So that's a constant struggle that's a challenge that I face. Sometimes the lack of civility that I see in the comments, sometimes on my videos, sometimes on other people's videos, it absolutely takes my breath away. It's like a gut punch, and I hope that I never get used to that. I don't want to be used to people behaving in an uncivil or unkind manner. But that's a constant, that's a challenge. That is a challenge to anybody who's creating videos for the internet. Okay. What kind of equipment do you use? I have some lighting, I have a phone, I have a laptop, I have some software, I have a stand for my phone, very, very primitive equipment, and I haven't improved on my equipment either over the 2 years. Okay, what is your one best piece of advice that you can give to another booktuber? Well, I'm going to say just what MJ said to me and what Melinda at A Web of Stories also says. Your channel is your extension or an extension of your home, and no one has the right to come into your home and disrespect you. And then also advice that Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads gave to me very early on, which was join whatever you want to join. You want to do a tag, do the tag. You don't have to wait to be personally tagged or invited. You want to get involved in something, sign up for it. You know, just put yourself out there and say that you want to that you want to be a part of it. I would advise that to anybody starting out. You know, don't stand in the back and wait for people to reach out to you. I mean, some people will, but, you know, sign up for whatever you want to do. Put yourself out there, and do reach out to others. You build a community by being a part of the community. Watch other people's videos, leave them comments, engage with others, and you'll find that they will engage with you as well. So that would be the best advice that I would give to anybody who is thinking about starting out. And be kind. Be kind. Be kind to one another. Okay. And the last question is, what is the best part of having a BookTube channel? This is a real community. It is a real community of people who genuinely care about one another. Other creators, regular commenters and subscribers. These are people who are real presence who are a real presence in one another's lives, reading together, talking about books together, tagging each other, being on each other's live stream shows. These are all things that go toward building a real community, real friendships. And I know that my life is so much richer because of this very special community that truly, I never would have imagined that it would be this rich and rewarding in terms of friendship and personal connection and really genuine care and kindness and even love. So that's my second anniversary video. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your friendship and for your presence here on my channel. As always, I thank you for watching. I hope that you're doing well. I'll speak with you again soon. Take care.